The biggest takeaway from the 2025 election is blank.
It's still the economy stupid.
Yeah, I mean, affordability is the easy one, and I think you've probably heard enough about that issue from us this week. But I think we can drill down a little bit more. I'm going to take a political tract, and sorry, super producer, this is not one word. It's a lengthy string of clauses. But I think the biggest lesson or the biggest takeaway from last week's election is that essentially Hispanic voters, Black voters, young voters, these major demographics where we saw Donald Trump pick up bigly in 2024, and then those gains evaporate in the 2025 elections, those demographics not only are not monolithic, but two, they cannot be taken for granted. And that includes Democrats coming off of these major victories in the election. And again, I'll throw my hat on the table and say that the government shutdown was a win for Democrats.
Certainly in Virginia.
Sure, yeah.
Undeniable that was a factor in the Virginia election. It was something like 22% of all voters in exit polls in Virginia said that they worked for the federal government.
100%. And let's do a little bit of history. Why did Donald Trump overperform with those groups, not only compared to his previous results, but virtually against every Republican result in a general election ever? One, the economy was really bad and Joe Biden refused to admit it, right? We can all agree on that. Number two, they poured so much money into targeting these groups in person, on digital media, in television, in Black radio stations, in Hispanic radio stations. It was like nothing we had ever seen before. And, the Democrats at the time were sort of laughing and saying, oh, Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. He's just throwing money at anything, hoping it will resolve all the problems. While in reality, we know that Joe Biden is transforming the economy in a way that we've never seen before. Well, I've got news for you. That obviously was not true. Now, parlay that into the midterm elections for 2026, and even again, going into the general in 2028, Donald Trump can go on Truth Social or have a press conference at the White House or fly to Miami and host a business forum and speak to CEOs for an hour and 17 minutes and talk about how amazing Wall Street is doing and how much money, from foreign investments my tariffs are bringing in. But if we are in a K-shaped economy, when I say a K-shaped economy, I mean Wall Street does super well and you and me, at minimum, don't improve our standing at all, or we see our fiscal security get worse, that message is going to be impossible to cut through, especially in those minority demographics who might not be as affluent as, say, white voters in non-swing states over the age of 50, right? Again, there's a lesson in there for Democrats too. You have to build up your farm system, to use a baseball metaphor. You have to tailor campaigns specifically for the electorates that you're trying to reach, and obviously in a state election that's different than a national election.
There has been a collective amnesia about why Trump won the election. The border was a huge number two, but the overwhelming number one was the economy stupid.
Yeah.
It is all inflation. It is all inflation. And in 2019, Trump presided over the best economy in generations, both by the polls and objectively. And the reason why is because he didn't really have to focus on the inflation part of the quotient. He only had to focus on the growth part, right? Obama presided over relatively low inflation. He just presided over very low growth. So Trump, through the deregulatory regime and through TCJA and all of that, he was able to get the growth off the charts while the inflation stayed fine.
Until COVID. Yeah.
Even
that was really under Biden.
But even during COVID, inflation was not out of control until Biden lit the fuse with the ARP. I still wouldn't have done as much spending as Trump did in 2020, but the point is, until that point, it was still okay.
It was at least in line with, or below the global trends.
Yeah, it was. I don't think inflation topped 2% at the end, I don't think it topped, and definitely didn't top 2.5 in 2020 at all.
I don't believe.
But
you're right,
I think it stayed under 2 for all of 2020. Joe Biden not only cratered growth, but then also caused massive inflation. So that is the real K-shaped economy, right? Growth going down, prices going up. Trump has brought the growth up massively, right? Q3 GDP should come in again at like over 3%, something like that. That's what it's on pace for. But 3% is great, right? If you can keep over 3% year on year, which Trump has done through largely the deregulatory regime, TCJA has brought back a lot of, capital expenditures, expensing. That has been great. So it is the economy, stupid, and you know me, I am a big foreign policy voter. So I am willing to give Trump all the points in the world for preventing a World War III with Iran. He is the one that prevented World War III. He did not start World War III. He prevented it with Iran by preventing a nuclear-powered Iran. He has brought the Gaza war to a peace. He's working on Ukraine, all these wonderful things and things that have to be done. And also making sure that people's work bring in wages with purchasing power that is increasing, not decreasing. That is the most important thing in the country. It might be the most important thing in the world, because if he doesn't do it, you will wind up with President AOC in 2028, and that should scare us all.
Nothing but respect for my president, perhaps, down the line, Madam President. I don't know.